It is prime time for summer seafood, and we have a new twist on an old-fashioned clam bake. Executive Chef Kerry Heffernan of New York Southgate Restaurant is here with tips on creating a great clam bake indoors. Good morning, Kerry.
Good morning, Julie.
Indoors? I didn't know that was possible.
So clam bake outdoors is with the seaweed and the stones and the beach and everything like that, but if you don't have that easily available to you, what you can do is what they call a clam boil.
A clam boil?
This is a clam boil, yeah.
Okay.
So the first...
And it'll taste the same?
It's actually different and in some ways better because you're going to get some lovely juice and broth and stuff like that.
Okay, so how do we do it?
So
what do we start out with? What's this pot called?
First thing we're going to do is to start sweating some leeks and garlic and bacon.
But in a special kind of pot?
I'm sorry, it's a big Le Creuset braising pot.
Okay. I don't cook, that's why I have to ask these questions. Okay.
And then you'd put the potatoes in and some of the aromatics, which you can use these lovely fresh bay leaves. Smell that, isn't that beautiful?
Very nice. Should you break it before you put it in, or just put it in whole?
You could break it, yeah.
Because I feel like it releases the juices.
It sure does. And we're going to add the clam and clam stock and water. You could also use wine. I mean, the whole thing about this is there's a versatility to it. You could use wine, chicken stock, any number of things.
Okay.
So potatoes go in first. They'd cook for about 10 minutes, okay, to get them going.
On about what kind of heat?
I'm sorry, medium heat. Thanks for reminding me. And once that's going, you're going to layer things in the order it takes to cook them. So the lobsters take about, 15, 20 minutes. So we're going to place these guys inside there.
But halve them first?
Yes, in this case they're halved. Again, this is something that's going to make it easier for your guests to enjoy them.
True.
Next thing we're going to add is the clams.
So wait, do they have to cook for X amount of time?
We're going to add this all together, so it's one stage.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to add the clams, and these are large quahog or Cherrystone clams. I actually dug these myself yesterday in Sag Harbor.
Wow.
Along with oysters that grow underneath our dock.
Beautiful.
So you'd place all these in there, and you'd get it going.
Okay. Keep it on the medium heat.
That's right.
Okay.
And then again, it's all about how long things take to cook. So basically, once it gets going, you then come in and add the corn.
So what do you mean once it gets going? Am I cooking it?
About 10 minutes.
Covered?
Covered, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, and the corn would depend on how early in the season. Right now, the corn isn't super sweet, so you may need about 10 minutes. Later in August, when it's beautiful and sweet and wonderful, you'll probably take about 5.
Okay.
The other thing I do is we can put some seaweed in there.
Oh.
Which can, sort of give that clam bake feel to it.
Now, what kind of seaweed? Because there's so many different kinds, right?
This is a Japanese seaweed that's pretty accessible. But I just realized if you don't have seaweed, since there's leeks in the recipe and you have the lovely leek tops, you can use these to lay in on top. And it actually does the same thing, sort of retains some of the moisture, imparts some flavor.
Okay.
So, again, we have these beautiful seafood. This is another thing I found. It's called a whelk.
What's a whelk?
It's a big conch, and it grows locally. Isn't that gorgeous?
That is gorgeous. What do I do with it?
The same thing. You could put that in early. You could steam that for about 20 minutes, and it'd be wonderful.
And then I can listen afterwards. Okay. Do I put it in?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. It's so pretty. I want it on my shelf. Okay.
Well, at Southgate in the Essex House, what we like to do is have a lot of things that are sustainable. So we're trying to get things that are local, sustainable seafood for the next generation.
Okay.
And instead of the traditional butter, what I've come up with is to make an emulsified sauce that you could make a day ahead of time, and you could use in a variety of things. So what we do is to put in the blender.
All right.
If you want to give me a hand.
Yes. Let me move my scripts out of the way. What are we
go
putting
ahead
in
and
the
put the lemon juice.
Okay.
And the vinegar. Scoop a little mustard in there.
Not the whole thing or the whole thing?
Oh, the whole thing, please.
Okay. This is Dijon mustard.
That is 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. We put the egg yolks in there, a little garlic.
Okay.
And the thing that's a little different is I use some of this Old Bay seasoning. That's really great. It goes in a variety of things.
30 seconds left. I mean, we have 15 seconds left.
So you blend that up, add the oil, make a nice creamy mayonnaise, and it come out just like this.
Okay.
With a little bit of basil on top. So, coming back to our clam bake, it's done. We'd pull the clams out. You can see they're still nice and big in the shell.
And this is just the dipping sauce for it?
That is the dipping sauce for that, yes.
Just dip back and forth?
Exactly. Well, it's probably best to dip the lobster, the clams, even the potatoes might benefit from that lovely sauce.
Kerry, they're telling me that we are out of time, and I think this is perfect timing because I want to eat this. And Go to
there
a
you
commercial.
go.
Kerry Heffernan. The
Good to
name of
see
your
you.
restaurant again is?
Southgate in the Jumeirah Essex House.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.